Grossbeat is probably one of the most recognizable music plugins ever. I bet you watching have probably heard the term thrown around if you've watched Genius Deconstructed videos or are listeners of hip-hop or EDM. There are plenty of hardware synthesizers or digital plugins that have well-known reputations, but none of them compared to Grossbeat. It single-handedly changed how music was produced for an entire new generation of kids. Not only that, but if you own FL Studio, it was free. Before I start rambling about Grossbeat itself, I think we should travel back in time to 1996, the year VSTs were invented. The concept of a digital synthesizer or audio effect that fit onto any platform was foreign until Steinberg Media Technologies introduced VST, or Virtual Studio Technology, to the world in 1996. Steinberg was a company founded in Germany by two men named Karl Steinberg and Manfred Rurup in 1984. For all of you producers out there wondering why DAWs and sequencing programs create a folder called Steinberg that all your VSTs go into, now you know. Anyways, the two were early adopters of the MIDI file format and ended up developing one of the first MIDI sequencing programs called Pro 16 that ran on the Commodore 64 home computer. Just to give some perspective on how old that actually is, this is before the NES from Nintendo came out. This program would be the stepping stone for the two developers to create Cubase in 1989. Cubase was originally just a MIDI sequencer, much like a lot of early music production software was in the late 80s and 90s, but it would go on to become a fully fledged DAW used in major professional studios around the world. This program would become a major catalyst for the creation of the VST protocol later on. VST was released alongside Cubase 3.02 in 1996, and little did anyone know, it would become the building blocks upon which almost all modern music is made from. That's right, two German dudes essentially birthed the modern music software industry with a single piece of software. The importance of VST cannot be understated here. Think about the other protocols or platforms like MP3 or HTTP that are integrated into our daily lives. VST sits next to technology like that, which changed our lives and how we consume media. A brief explanation of what a VST is would be a plugin software interface that allows software-based synthesizers and effects to be displayed and function within DAWs. This is the impact that Steinberg had on the music production world. This single technology not only allowed bedroom producers access to professional sounds, but it would also change the quality of music forever. There are arguments about vinyl or analog mediums having a specific tone to them, and people like that, but it's undeniable that VSTs worked to polish and refine the quality of songs in the modern day. Even if you go back and listen to hip-hop from the late 2000s or early 2010s, there's a very clear difference in mixing quality due to better and better VSTs getting released and engineers having more experience working with them. Now that we've got a better understanding of where VSTs came from, let's skip forward to 2009 when FL Studio 9 was released. The year is 2009. The first Bitcoin ever was minted. 2.5 billion people watched the Michael Jackson memorial on TV, and the first version of Minecraft had just been released. Amongst all the crazy things that happened that year would be the birth of a little effect plugin attached to FL Studio called Grossbeat. This plugin on its face is deceptively simple with its preset options and two panes to work with, but that couldn't be further from the truth. To put it simply, Grossbeat controls an audio signal's time and gain over time with a graph editor that houses both controls on top of each other, and you can switch between them with a button. The reason we talked about the history of VSTs is because, you guessed it, Grossbeat was created on the VST platform. Now, it does come stock with some versions of FL Studio, but you can also buy it separately and use it in any DAW you want thanks to VST. I think that's really important to recognize that ImageLine, the creators of FL, did not restrict its use to only their platform. Currently, most tech companies decide to make their software exclusively available to their own customers and/or make it subscription-based, but not ImageLine. They've always stood for the customer, in my opinion, when it comes to their software. They believe that when you buy something, you own it. Not only that, but you can use their secondary software without owning their platform. One of the reasons this is important to note is that FL Studio and by extension Grossbeat have always been pretty affordable. The lowest price version of FL that comes with Grossbeat is their Signature Bundle, which clocks in at $300. However, if you don't want to use FL, you can just buy Grossbeat directly for $69 from ImageLine. This led to a huge amount of hip-hop, trap, and EDM producers starting out to choose FL as their first DAW, and in turn start using Grossbeat. But it wasn't only used by beginner producers learning for the first time. It exploded into the cultural mainstream of production pretty quickly after it was launched. The year is 2010. Steve Jobs had just unveiled the iPad, Toy Story 3 grossed over $1 billion at the box office, and Instagram had just been launched. During all of this, a little movie called Tron Legacy came out on December 17th of the same year. In this movie, there was a song created by Daft Punk called Derezzed. To my knowledge, this was one of the first major commercial songs that used gross beat that was seen by millions of people, as well as people in the music industry. Its usage in the song was erratic and in your face during the drop and perfectly showcased the absolute chaos of this plugin along with what it's capable of. I can't play the song here due to copyright, but if you'd like to check out the song for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. Anyway, the song by Daft Punk used gross beat in a more aggressive way, using the more chaotic time patterns available in the preset section. However, this plugin has a vast amount of different use cases. For instance, you can use it just like an LFO tool to sidechain with the gain window. You can use it as a tape stop effect or a spin up effect on your melodies, and most importantly, you can half speed your audio while maintaining the same tempo. This half speed feature is probably the most used and least understood aspect of gross beat and has been used in thousands upon thousands of songs by unknown producers all the way up to big names like Southside, TM88, or Metro Boomin. During the early and mid 2010s, gross beat was predominantly used in hip hop and trap production professionally and by bedroom producers. But in 2017, gross beat would be cemented into the zeitgeist of hip-hop forever with the Genius Deconstructed video, the making of Lil Uzi Vert's EXO tour life with TM88. To give you some context, the Genius YouTube channel uploads their Deconstructed series, which takes producers of popular songs, mostly hip-hop and trap, and has them showcase their process for making the instrumental of the song. The TM88 video is the highest viewed deconstructed episode out of all the videos they've uploaded, clocking in at a huge 8.6 million views as of the recording of this video. The only other episode I could find that comes close is Nick Mira's episode about the song All Girls Are the Same by Juice WRLD, coming in at 4.4 million. Anyways, at around the 2-minute mark, TM88 goes into detail about the plugin he used to get that slowed down, dripped out feeling from the main sample of the song. That plugin was gross beat.
It's this thing on FL called gross beat, which all the fans know we use, but I took it and I half-timed it. Half-time means slow it down, but it's slowed down, but it's the same tempo as it's dividing it.
This one effect is most definitely the thing gross beat is known for by fans of hip-hop and producers, but gross beat can do so much more than that, as we've previously covered. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention other plugins that are all meant to do similar things, like Sugar Byte's Effectrix, Halftime by Cable Guys, or Glitch 2 by dBlue. All of these are great plugins, but none of them have the widespread reach like gross beat did and still does. And now we reach today, where gross beat is probably one of the most utilized plugins by FL Studio users. A tool so simple, yet so complex will forever go down in the Hall of Fame of music production plugins. At least I think so. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini episode of my History Of series. They're super fun to make and hopefully interesting to watch for you all. I hope this video gives you some insight into the work that goes into the music that's created today, so you can have a bigger appreciation for the people who make it possible for us all to make awesome fucking music. Thank you all for watching, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video.